good morning, good morning. Welcome to the latest edition of Choppin' It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, what a game, what a day in the NFL yesterday. Oh, so much to talk about, so much to get at. But before we start there, I want to say, I thought Penn State was robbed, man. I thought Penn State was robbed. I thought they should have got in. But you know what? I can live with that because at the end of the day, the top four teams got in. That was at least according to the rankings. But good season by Penn State. I was looking at their roster yesterday, and they're going to have a lot of guys returning. That's going to be a program to watch out going further. But good way to bounce back, Penn State, and look for them next year to be a factor. All right, moving along to the NFL. Man, so much to talk about, but we're going to start right here in my backyard at the Georgia Dome. You couldn't script it better for a homecoming for a young man that's been dealing with so much adversity, and that's Eric Berry. Here's a young man that his perseverance, man, having to deal with cancer treatments, chemo, and to see him come home and perform in front of a crowd that in an area where he grew up as a high school football player out of Fairburn, Eric Berry put on a performance for the ages. Listen, Hollywood, you couldn't script it any better. You could not have scripted this any better, Hollywood. The young man comes out there, I think it was the first quarter, picked off Matt Ryan for a pick six. And how about late in the fourth quarter? Matt Ryan leads a comeback. They go for two. He picks it off in the end zone and take it all the way to the house. 104-yard pick two. A pick two, which happens to be the winning score of the game. Pick two that puts up Kansas City 29-28, and then they run out the clock. What a performance. What a performance by this young man. Eric Berry comes back home in front of his family, his mom, his dad. He shed tears before and after the game. Man, just a good feel story. I mean, it's a story that, you know, everybody likes to hear and see. Unfortunately for the Falcons, they lost the game, and the Falcon fans may not want to hear about it. But what a performance by Eric Berry. And then the Falcons. The Falcons was on cruise control throughout the season. Looked like they had this division wrapped up. This is an awful loss for the Falcons. When I say awful, let me tell you why it's awful. With Tampa Bay winning 4 in a row, now they're tied for first place in the division. Not only that, that loss also now puts them in the wild card race. There was parts of the season when Falcons didn't have to worry about the wild card race because it looks like they was going to have this division locked up. They got 4 games remaining. They got the Rams next week, 49ers the week after, and then I believe they play New Orleans and Carolina to close out the season. But still, they were in the driver's seat. And this Tampa Bay team, led by Jameis Winston, yeah, they're only getting better. They're getting stronger. They won 4 in a row. The Falcons really put themselves in a position that we didn't think they would be in going further. I know me personally, I thought the Falcons was going to easily walk into the playoffs as division winners. Now they got to fight. They really got to fight because Tampa Bay is breathing down their neck. They're no longer in the rearview mirror. They're actually side by side by them. There was a time they was in the rearview mirror, but they're side by side. Speaking of that division, Tampa Bay does have 2 games left with New Orleans, and I believe they also may have a game with Carolina. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for Tampa Bay, but you know when you're rolling, you're rolling. And right now they're rolling, man. And here's the thing: they're only getting stronger. New Orleans, they're out of it. They're done. Carolina, they're done. But they would love nothing more but to play spoiler right now. So Tampa Bay, you know, you got to keep that focus, tie up the chin strap, keep them laces tied on those cleats, and just go out there and perform, man. Right now, you guys got a hot hand, and you know what? You're capable of doing it, man. But the Falcons, bad loss, man. Just a bad loss. I don't know where the blame goes. I'm just gonna chalk it up as a bad loss. Some people feel like Dan Quinn should have just went for the extra point and played defense. Just play defense. But I can understand what he's saying. A field goal could win. At least now a field goal would tie it. I mean, you don't expect a 104-yard 2-point, a pick two. Let's put it that way. A pick two. I mean, the Falcons yesterday found new ways to give up, to lose. All right, pick six are common, okay? But then you had the 55-yard Russian score from the fake punt. And then the pick two. Unbelievable. Just simply unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, all right, moving along. Let's talk about Detroit for a minute. Matthew Stafford, another stellar performance. It's funny, many people, including myself, and I'm not going to say I'm of the minority when I say that. I'm probably of the majority. But when Calvin Johnson surprisingly retired, no one expected Detroit to come back and be in a position that they're in right now. Now, granted, they got a tough 4 games out to go. I believe they played Dallas, they played Minnesota. No, not Minnesota, but they played Dallas, they played the Giants. They got a tough way to finish out. But however, with that said, they're 8-4. Matthew Stafford has put his name in the MVP conversation. There's no doubt in my mind. He's put himself in the MVP conversation. He's got distance separation between the next team in his division. It looks like all he's got to do is win maybe 2 of the last 4 games. They're going to wrap up that division. Listen, when you lose a receiver or player of that stature, and what's his name, Calvin Johnson, and you can still come back and be a formidable in the way that you are, man, I mean, all he has is golden tape. Tremendous performance by Detroit. I think they put the nail in the coffin for the New Orleans Saints, man. It was a road game, excellent win. Matthew Stafford is creeping up into my MVP race. He's probably 5 right now as I look at it. I still got Dak number 1. I got Derek Carr number 2. I got Brady number 3. And you know what? With the loss by the Falcons, I might have to slide Stafford at number 4 right now. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll slide him up after number 4. And I might have Ezekiel Elliott at number 5 right now. I don't know about Matt Ryan right now, man. I don't know about him. We're going to find out what he's made of with these last 4 games to go. But yeah, what a performance by Detroit and Stafford on the road. So they continue their winning ways. Miami, who was the hottest team in football, at least one of them, had a 6-game winning streak. They go into Baltimore just to get shut down. Shut down. Baltimore, they're trying to make claim over there in the AFC North. Just shut them down. I think the score was something like 38-6. Tannehill, he reverted back to the old Tannehill, just throwing interceptions all over the place. I think he had 3. The running back, like Ajayi, maybe I'm having difficult pronouncing his name. He wasn't really a factor. Man, they just shut him down, man. You know what? Boom, you're done. 38-6. They punched him in the mouth and they kicked him in the stomach in the second half. Yeah, just annihilation. Just total domination. And that's what you do. A hot team comes in on the road. You don't give them no life, man. You just take them from it. Boom, boom, boom. And that's it, man. That's it, man. What a performance by Baltimore. And it was a big performance because as I predicted yesterday on this show, I thought Pittsburgh would beat the Giants, man. So with Pittsburgh beating the Giants and Eli Manning looking like the bad Eli Manning, this is not the Eli that says that, you can't spell elite without Eli. Well, in this case here, you're about to spell something else. Eliminate it. But nah, this loss right here was, this win by Pittsburgh was huge. They kept pace with Baltimore. It wasn't one of those perfect games by Ben Roethlisberger, but it was a game that he got the job done. He threw for over 250 yards. nearly 300 yards, I believe. So he threw a touchdown. LaDavian Bell, he came up big. And you know what? We talked about this defense of Pittsburgh yesterday being one of the weakest. Maybe they hurt the show. I'm not sure. But they came up pretty big, man. It wasn't like Eli, was able to beat them going deep and burn them. My man Odell, he did have 10 catches, but he had 10 catches for 100 yards. Wasn't like he had that breakout play, So this was a big win. Good stance by Pittsburgh as them and Baltimore now share the division at 7-5. So pretty good. Pretty good. We're gonna see a pretty good stretch down the season with these playoff scenarios. Seattle, they put the nail in the coffin on even tighter on the Carolina Panthers, man. Cam Newton, man. What's happened to this guy, man? I tell you what, though, when he throws a touchdown deep, it ain't a pass more prettier than his, man. I seen 2 weeks in a row, man. He just throws a touchdown pass. Some of it looks like he just flings it, but the way it just gets down there and it's perfectly in the hands of a receiver, man, it don't get that much prettier than the way he throws a football, man. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, today he's making more statements with his dress code than he is on the field. The Carolina Panthers is just, it has to be the most disappointing team in the league, man. But kudos to Russell Wilson and them, man. They didn't play around with them either, man. They put up 40 points on them, just annihilated them, just demolished them. What a game by that, man. It went there. So, again, Oakland, they continue their winning ways. Derek Carr, they beat up on Buffalo. They continue. They're 10-2, tied with the Patriots at 10-2. So look out that might be something to look out to see who wins home field advantage throughout the AFC East playoff. But it's a good thing they won because Kansas City, as I mentioned, in Philly, in Atlanta, they won. Denver, they beat up on Jacksonville, who's 2-10. It's just another bad season for them. So a lot of football left to go, but it's beginning to tighten up, man, at this point in the stage, man. Every game is a playoff game. You got Monday Night Football going on tonight. It's Indianapolis and New York. The Jets, the Jets, to me, they need to just finish up the season and just roll over and tank, get themselves in a position to get some high draft picks. Indianapolis is in for a little dogfight, though. If they can win this game, man, there'll be a three-way tie in the division between them, Houston, and Tennessee. So look out for that division there. It'd be a 6-6 three-way tie, but you know what, man? At least it's being competitive, and there's reasons to continue to play at this time of the season because there's some teams that have no reason to play. Cleveland don't have a reason to play. The Jets don't have a reason to play. Just to name a few, Jacksonville, they don't have a reason to play. Personally, Carolina doesn't have a reason to play. I got an inbox yesterday from one of my cousins talking about Phillies. The Eagles are bums. Man, you know what it is, man? They're not a bum. They're just who we thought they were, man. They came out with a rookie quarterback, happened to win the first 4 games, man, and everybody started making comparison to this person and that person. And I guess the Eagles and Carson Wentz started reading their own press, and he had one bad game that led to a 5-7 season at this point. In the offseason, the Eagles' primary priority should be receivers. Should be receivers. They need to go out and get wide receivers. They need to go out and get wide receivers, man. Maybe a running back too, but they really need to go out and get wide receivers. Defense is not bad. Tight end is not bad. They got a couple of running backs, but they need wide receivers, man. Wide receivers is what they can use. And maybe some backup help on the offensive line. But we'll see what happens. But it looks like they're done. Philly is done. I'll admit that. So my 2 football teams, they're done. The Jets been done a couple of weeks ago. Eagles, to me now, officially eliminated. They're done. They can't get back into it. All right, they're 5-7. I think they're 2 games out from the wild card spot with a bunch of teams in between. I just don't see it happening. So they're done. All right. Moving along to the NBA. Before I get to my Knicks, you see the hat. Russell Westbrook, man. He's done something last night that hasn't been done since 1989. That's recorded his 5th straight triple-double. Last person to do that was in 1989 when he did 7 in a row. That was Michael Jordan. I'm running out of vocabulary words for Westbrook. I mean, what this guy is continues to do night after night, man. I mean, it's just amazing, man. 28 points, 17 rebounds, 12 assists. This is every night for this guy, man. 40 minutes, whatever it might be. Just every night, man. And it doesn't matter who he's playing, man. This guy here, my goodness, I wish he had a Knicks uniform on, man. He's just fun to watch, man. And he never stops, man. He just comes at you. And here's the thing that I like about him, man. He's piling on these assists with nobody who's an offensive threat on the team other than maybe Oladipo and possibly Enes Kanter. Possibly. But yeah, he's giving these guys the ball in positions where the shot is so much easier for them, man. Whether he just goes down the middle, the defense collapses on him, he finds an open guy who's got a jump shot that looks like a layup, or maybe they got a cutter that finds a layup, or maybe a lob to Adams or Kantner. He's just putting it in a position to make the game easier for everyone else, man. You know, if we'd have seen this Westbrook with Durant, maybe they would have won a championship. But they played too much buddy ball to me. And they forgot about everybody else. But in this case here, he can't win by himself scoring. So he's got to make it easier for everybody else, man. And then the rebounding, man. It's phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal, man. Phenomenal what he's doing, man. This guy here, man. Wow, man. Wow. I think he's going to keep this up, man. I really do, man. I think he's going to keep this up, man. Outstanding performance, man. Well, they get the win done. They're 13-8, man. They're hovering around the 5th, 6th spot in the West, man. I think that's where they're going to be. They'll probably finish top 6, man. I see 50 wins. I don't see them being less than 50 wins. I don't see it being that much of a struggle. I think he's found a groove. He's trusting his teammates. They're buying into the system. It's just fun to watch, man. Fun to watch. The Clippers, they lose again to Indiana, this time at home. I'm not sure what's going on with Clippers, man. You just don't know what you're going to get with them, but they're still one of the top 3 teams out there in the West. So look out for them, man. They should make a little run out there. And now to the guard. Listen, man. A win's a win. I don't care how it looks, man. You know, but Hornacek, man, when you get in these big leagues, man, especially against teams that you should just beat, man, you got to find the right defensive personnel in there, man, to secure this league, man, because this game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Yeah, we pulled out the win, but yeah, we was up by 20, man, and this team cut it down to 1, man. We had a third quarter to forget, man. These guys went on like a 16, 17-0 run, man. Yeah, you got to come up with a defensive scheme. Oh, by the way, DeMarcus Cousins, if he ever gets his head on straight, he could be the best player in the game, man. What I seen from this guy yesterday, putting up 37 points just about anywhere and everywhere, off the dribble, post up, 3-pointers, just laying it up, playing hard. He's a little dirty player, but you know what? He got passion, man. I can live with that, man. He just need to be surrounded by some veterans, man. You know, this guy's a monster, man. He's just, you know, Greg called up yesterday and talked about the 2 big men out of Kentucky. Who would you take, Towns or Davis? You know, he forgot about DeMarcus Cousins out of Kentucky as well. Let me tell you something. I got to take DeMarcus Cousins, man. He just needs to be around some veterans, man, that can tell him, yo, young man, that's not how we do it. Let's channel that energy into the game alone and not into the ruckus. You know, just challenge that energy to the game alone, man. But what a load of talent he is, man. What a load he is, man. What a load. But getting back to the game, New York came up. They was victorious. They're now 2 games over 500. They tied for the 6th, 7th spot. Derrick Rose is looking like shades of the old Derrick Rose. Except for I think he's a little bit more disciplined. He's not quite as reckless. He's not looking to be as athletic. He's just taking advantage of his quickness. He's not trying to dunk it by the rim. He's just getting to the basket, floaters, laying it up. Just excellent, passing it out. And Brandon Jennings, what can you say about this guy? He came off the bench. I think he finished with 17, 19 points. This is probably his most points as a Knick. Yeah, he comes out the bench. He's still at floor general. Man, what a performance by him. KP struggled a little bit, but he still had some good defensive stops, a couple of block shots. I mean, some big rebounds, man. I think he finished with the double-double. Just an all-around team effort. Team effort. The bench is getting a little bit more comfortable. I saw a move by Herger Gomez. I was like, whoa. So good win by New York, man. They got a trap game coming up. They go down to Miami for Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, they back home for Cleveland. And I need them to take care of business in Miami. Miami is not what Miami once was. Should be a victory. You never know with the Knicks. Sometimes they play to the level of their competition, and they make the game a little tighter than what it should be. But I'll say this, the Knicks look like they're finding a nice little rhythm. Chemistry is continuing to brew. They're gelling. They're growing. Jeff Hornacek's looking more and more comfortable. But we have to find a way to secure these big leads. But tremendous performance by the Knicks last night to get the win and continue their winning ways at home. I mean, just as simple as that. I'm curious to see what the power rankings have them. Last week they had them at 17, 3 spots up from 20. I want to see if they crack that top 16. I want to see if they get into that top 15. They're playing well enough to do so. But let's see what happens, man. I'm very interested to see what happens. All right? Now, that's going to do it for the show today. As I always end the show with, peace and blessings. See you in 24. This is Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Y'all be good.